And we are live. PB, what's up, buddy?
What's up? How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for coming in. You came all the way from Michigan, right? All the way down to Pennsylvania. And man, I just got to say, you've been blowing up. Social media, all over, Instagram, TikTok. What's your biggest following?
Twitter.
Twitter?
Yeah, Twitter's my biggest. That's kind of how I started as well, which is pretty crazy because Twitter's super hard to grow.
Yeah. No, I've been on Twitter for, I think, since 2014, and that has been the slowest amount because it's just so many more tweets. It's when you post something on TikTok, it's that visual sense, and knowing me, it's more energy and energetic, and people can see that and feed that. A lot of times on Twitter, it's a slow growing process unless, you're just posting something super catchy. Back in the day, I feel like if you just posted a hot Drake lyric, it would blow up and turn into something huge. Now it's just like the actual slow
value,
grind.
Yeah. You really have to provide value to grow on Twitter, and especially with how it is nowadays, is you're not just gonna get one big tweet and blow up overnight. Like every single day for the last probably 2.5, 3 years, I've been making a post on Twitter, at least 2 to 3 posts. Like that's the majority of my day is making content. 2-3 hours easily.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I really wanted to get you out here because you motivate me. I mean, how old are you now?
I'm 16.
16 years old. I see you blowing up. I see you putting in the work. And honestly, that's just inspiring to me. That's motivating to me. Seeing someone in my space, because I didn't even start trading until I was 21. And now I'm 30. I'm the old man, I feel like, of this whole entire trading community. And I wanted to, get and be able to speak to you a little bit. So tell me, how did you start? Like 16 years old right now, already getting to your level of success. Like, how did it all begin? When did you become involved in stock trading? How did you get into this space?
So it all started right when COVID hit and quarantine started. My whole life, though, even before this, I've always had that entrepreneur mindset. I've always been looking for ways to make money. I was that kid who was searching up on YouTube ways to make $100 at 10 years old, way to make this. How can I do a lemonade stand? How can I resell this? Stuff like that. And I kind of think it transitioned because my whole mindset was always hustle, 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 save, save, save. And once I had all that free time from being home, I was figuring out, okay, I need to use this to my advantage. How am I going to find ways to make money online? So I started searching up ways to make money online, came across drop shipping, did that for around a month. I made a little bit of money, but it was not for me. I got banned on all my Facebook ad accounts, so kind of there was nothing I could do. So stopped that, kept looking for new ways to make money, and then one day I was scrolling on TikTok, and I saw a video about this guy making all this money trading in like a few minutes. So I was like, yo, this is crazy. Let me check this out. I went on YouTube that night, and the whole night straight, I didn't sleep that whole night. I was just watching videos and videos and videos. And the one that struck to me is from my really good friend, Umar Ashraf. It was him buying his new Lamborghini strictly from trading profits. And it's crazy because now, like, look how far I've came. I know him now. I'm really close with him and, like, cool. So it just shows that, anything you kind of put your mind to. But, yeah, it was how I started. I was a 12-year-old kid. Quarantine started. And looking for ways to make money, came across that YouTube video. Ever since then, everything just went nuts. I had passion for it, and obviously it hasn't always been, win, but
yeah,
it's been great.
Have you ever? I feel like so many kids are probably in your position, and I mean, I could say the same exact thing back when I was in high school. Like, what grade are you in now?
I'm a junior in high school.
Junior in high school. So does everyone in high school know you're as like the trading kid now?
Yeah, I mean, everybody it's crazy. I swear, I'll be out and I'll get recognized, and it's like, yo, this is crazy. How is this a random person just coming up to me? But yeah, but it's not always good. And you got to recognize that. Which, for me, bad press is good press. But in their eyes, when I was starting, there was a lot of kids clowning on me, hating on me. Yo, you only have a few followers. What are you talking about? You don't know how to do this stuff. And now those same kids text me yo, can you teach me how to trade?
I completely understand that. I started back in college, as I said, when I was a junior in college, and that's when I started. And same exact thing. My friend group would clown on me, make fun of me until they actually start seeing success. And that's how everything kind of comes down to. You are not going to get people to motivate you or basically be motivated by them until you start reaching a level of success. Once you get to that level of success, everyone wants to start hanging out with you. Everyone wants to start being your friend. It basically goes from when you're at the bottom, everyone laughs at you, you start getting equal. Okay, hey, we'll see what happens. And then you're up here and they say, hey, let's hang out. So there is those different stages of how people treat you. But, doing it way back in high school, that's the thing for everyone watching this and everyone listening at this time. I wish I started earlier. I wish I started when I was 16 years old. I wish when I was 16, when I was 17, I mean, to be honest, that was back in Modern Warfare 2 days. That was when I would just go home and all I would do play video games. Have you ever been like that whatsoever? Or you always had this like mindset that you just always wanted to have some sort of business or trading or finances or something? Like, has this always just been an interest?
I mean, not necessarily as far as that. Like, I used to be really good at Fortnite. Kind of used to play that competitively a little bit.
Okay.
But I mean, I think about it like this: every single kid kind of has their own things they like. Some like to play sports, some like to do this, some like to go party. And for me, I just like to work on myself, lock in, grow my businesses, and I found my passion. And I'm truly just locked in right now and working, grinding it up, and achieving it.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this. What was one of your bigger trading days this year? Is there like a day that sticks out that's like, okay, I made X amount, trading wise?
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning of the year, I had like a $10,000 day.
Yeah, how awesome is that? And now having that $10,000 day, are you ever sitting in class saying to yourself, man, why am I learning about 1968 civilizations out in Western whatever? And it's like, hey, why am I learning this when I can be able to make $10,000 a day? Does that ever cross your mind?
Sometimes I think about it. I made a tweet the other day. Yo, without Y equals MX plus B, I wouldn't be able to make 10,000 a day, which is a total lie. Like, sometimes I think about like, okay, when am I ever gonna use this stuff in life? And the only reason that I'm still in school necessarily is because I'm a co-op student. So basically, I talked to my school, and it was either I'm gonna drop out, I'm gonna homeschool, or I need to be a co-op student. So which co-op student allows me to be is every day from about 9:45 to 11:30, I don't have school. I can work, I live trade, and trade every single morning.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So after high school, what are your plans? You gonna go to college or no?
See, that's a tough question because I personally don't want to go to college, but my parents obviously, they want me to go to college, and it's kind of a hard point because okay, so my dad basically, so here's some backstory. My dad,
Okay.
he kind of came to the U.S. from his parents from Iraq, nothing, and his parents couldn't work. They were foreigners. His siblings were younger. My dad's the oldest, and he was a high school dropout. He just worked at a store basically his whole life. He had to provide for his family, and that's kind of how it was. And he didn't go to college, nothing like that. He worked and worked and worked and kind of had to provide for his family and allow his siblings to go to college. He saved up a lot of money. He then got a liquor store, and then they sold that, and he just got all into entrepreneur, and now obviously he's a very successful entrepreneur, and he started from nothing. But he kind of worked harder for me to be able to work smarter, So I kind of have to think about it in that standpoint, because my parents tell me, like, you're doing all this right now. You can do college. Why can't you do college? But at the same time, like, I don't want to. So I kind of have a goal with them. Like, if I make a certain amount of money, that I don't have to go to college.
I would go to college.
Really?
Yeah, I would say go to college. I'll tell you right now, go to college, but don't go to a school that you're gonna be $100,000 in debt in. Go do a state school. So I wanted to go to college, but I'll be honest, when I was 16, 17 years old, I was thinking about more of the fun of college.
Yeah.
I was saying, okay, I want to go to school, I want to go to college, so I got away. I got a little bit away from the parents a little bit. I would be able to have alone time, as in, be able to explore and be able to try new things and be able to socialize. I'll tell every single person this. Yes, college loans and debt, that is awful. I don't want to do that. My one friend went to Penn State. He got a communication major, and he's in $110,000 of debt, and he's not making anywhere near to be able to pay that on off. I went to a state school. I finished out with around $35,000 of debt. Now, I don't use anything that I learned in college, but I will tell you right now that college didn't show me what I wanted to do. College showed me what I didn't want to do. It showed me that every single person is learning from the same professor. Every single person is learning the same ideas. Every single person is on the same exact schedule. And every single person who graduates is going to have tons of college debt, is going to be working that 9 to 5, is going to be saying to themselves, oh man, I have to wait until interest rates drop to get a house, or they just feel like they're constantly worrying about money in every single way. And college is where I was able to figure out stock trading. College is where I said to myself, man, I want to be different. How do I be in the 1%? Well, the 1% is not by following the 99%. So that's where I was able to discover college, where I said, hey, I don't want to follow this path. I want to be able to make my own path. Now, was that worth $35,000 for me? The answer is yes, because not only was I able to do that, but I also developed tons of social skills. I developed social skills to be able to talk to others, be able to, with friends, with girls, with whoever, be able to make connections. And then on top of that, just be able to find yourself a lot more as a person, be able to live on your own. There's a lot of people that don't go to college that stick with their mom and dad and they depend on them way too much. And that is, that breaking point. As you get older, you mature and you kind of develop it, I think, the way you should. So even if I had a kid and he came on out and he said, hey, Dad, I don't want to go to college, I would say, go to college. Even if you want to trade, even if you want to do business, even if you're involved in finances, because don't go to something. I would say if you want to go to Penn State, I keep saying Penn State because we're in Pennsylvania and that was kind of the big school that everyone wanted to go to. I would say go there if you want to become a doctor, if you want to become a lawyer, if you want to be able to become something along those lines. But if you have a communication major or something along those lines, I would say go to a state school. I just thought it was so important to kind of get away and be able to figure things out. So that was worth it to me, and I have zero regrets about college. And yes, you do get those fun times as well that everyone always raves about.
Yeah, I think the networking aspect as well is a very big point about college. But at the same time, like I'm doing what I want to do in life. I know what I want to do in life. So as far as the social aspect and networking aspect, I agree. But I'm kind of like, I'm doing it right now, and I found some success at a young age. So it's kind of view as of, is my time worth going to it?
No, that is a good point.
Question right now.
No, I definitely understand that. So when I was in college, I just did night classes. So once I discovered stock trading, I said, all right, I know the market's hot at 9:30 in the morning. I want to be involved at 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock. I want to be involved in the market. So I just did all my classes from 6 to 9. So college, you can set up your schedule the way you wanted, and you could either have a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You could have a Tuesday, Thursday, or you could just have 6 to 9. And then basically my entire week was 6 to 9 on Monday, 6 to 9 on Wednesday, and a 6 to 9 on Thursday. And then other than that, I just had all free time. The 6 to 9s, you're sitting there 3 hours in class and just looking at the clock sometimes saying, hey, I would love to be able to go home right now. But it was awesome to be able to wake up, be able to do what I wanted to do. Yes, after, you do your stock trading or finances, you can go ahead and lift. You got so much time. The thing that college kids don't realize when they're in college is how much time you have. You have all the time in the world. It's almost ridiculous. And when you go there, you feel like, oh, I got so much studying. And then you study a little bit, and then you hang out with friends for a little bit. And then you go to the gym, and then you go to the cafeteria, and then you come back home and you're like, oh man, where did the day go? But what did you really do? You went to the gym, you hung out with friends the entire time, and you did a little studying. If you take your college time and actually put it towards something that you want, I think it's one of the best things for you. So when you go to school, or if you do go to school, I would say do what I did. Put some 6 to 9 classes out there in something that you're passionate about, but at the same time, maybe something that you're not going to use. You might never use your college degree in your life, and right now you're on track to be able to blow every single thing out of the water, way surpass me. But I want you, to realize, hey, you're going to have so much time. Things are going to obviously have that financial aid, or if you have some money stacked up, yeah, you got your pros and cons, and I understand your main point saying, is my time worth going to college to get that degree that I may never use? But as networking and social skills, that is where you will probably strive on it, and just for memories,
Yeah, I mean, I think to your time point, I think time management is so important. Everyone asks me, PB, how do you do everything there's to do? How do you go to school? How do you work out every day? How do you run 2 businesses? How do you trade stocks? How do you grow on social media all in the same time, all in the same day? And I think the simple question is time management. Go on your phone right now. See how many hours you have on Snapchat. How many hours you have on Instagram. How many hours you're scrolling away your life. If you can dedicate just a portion of that time to learning a valuable skill, I promise you, you're going to be so much more ahead in life than everybody else.
No, I agree. So how did you get so disciplined? Feel at your age, being 16 years old, where did your discipline come from? Was it from your parents? Was it from seeing others? How did you find this line of, I want to be successful?
I think discipline kind of correlates to my motivation, and discipline is my form of motivation. I get disciplined because I see others and what they're doing, and I will not stop until I get there. If I have my eye on something, I will do whatever I have to do to get to that point. Failure is not an option for me, and the only way to do that with trading and everything I'm doing is being disciplined. So I think being disciplined is key, and not just being disciplined in trading. If you want to make money in the stock market, if you want to be disciplined in trading, you have to be disciplined in life as well. You have to add up those small wins in life. You have to go hit the gym. You have to eat healthy, because think about it. How are you going to be disciplined in the market if you can't be disciplined in life? If you can't be disciplined in your mind? If you can't even control what you're doing on a day-to-day basis? You can't.
So what has been your trading strategy? You start getting involved in trading. You started finding trading. Was it just a all of a sudden you found trading, it was super easy right away?
No, no.
So tell us about, your kind of starting year and what happened.
So for context, I've been trading for around 4 years now, and the journey kind of started with penny stocks. I was trading OTC, and the first ever OTC I bought, I put all in. I didn't know better. Full port, and went 3x overnight, 3K to 9K overnight, 2x.
Oh, wow.
And then from then, the next stock I bought, I lost all of it.
Okay. Yeah, that's a very familiar story with a lot of people.
Yeah, that's kind of how the average trading journey is. From there, I started trading penny stocks more and more and more. And my whole strategy was literally following other people on Twitter. So you can't be successful doing that. That's the truth. You can't just get fish from other people. You got to learn how to actually fish. So
Absolutely.
from there, I kind of kept doing penny stocks. I realized I don't really like them. I was looking for new ways, new strategies. I came across options trading from one of my mentors, and he basically told me, you should definitely check out options trading, check this out. I did a ton of research about it, and it's super funny because 3 years ago today, I took my first ever options trade. I was looking at my memories. So it was on, I don't even know. I forgot. I think ticker NLS, but yeah. And then from there, I was kind of buying breakouts and breakdowns based off of key levels. And obviously, I don't do that anymore, but I kind of got into options there. And I was also doing small caps that time. I was trading small caps based off pre-market news and kind of trading those pre-market rippers.
Mm-hmm.
And then ever since then, it took me around, I'd say, year and a half of trial and error, back testing to finally get that aha moment. And then now my strategy kind of consists of options trading based off of break of trends retests. So I'll trade a pre-market high retest, pre-market low retest, VWAP retest. And what this basically allows me to do is get better entries, but also it puts my edge a lot higher because my risk to reward is at least 1 to 2, maybe even 1 to 3 in every single trade, due to the fact that I'm buying very close to my stop loss with a nice size target.
Yeah.
So I'm risking, say, 15% on a trade to make 30 to 40%. I can lose more than half my trades and still be a very profitable trader.
Yeah. No, absolutely. That's something that I stress a lot. It does come down to a ton of support and resistance. If you can understand where support's at, you can understand where resistance is, and you look to enter near support on calls and you have a stop loss underneath it, or if you do put contracts up high next to resistance and have a stop loss above it, you just have so much more room for success. So that is an amazing strategy that I think a lot of people should be able to take into consideration. I feel like so many people follow the strategy of, hey, who has the most followers on Twitter, and let's see what they say.
So believe it or not, though, as you're saying kind of buy puts at resistance and calls at support, this is what differentiates me from everybody else.
Okay.
I like to wait for the break of structures. I'm not going to buy calls under resistance. That's just dumb. What's supposed to happen in resistance? Reject. But what I wait for is I wait for that resistance to become support. Because remember, every single resistance, once broken over, becomes a support. And every single support, once breaking under, becomes a resistance. So what I do is I wait for the break of structure, and then I trade that resistance to support retest because of that off that flip. And where sellers were previously, buyers come in. And that's kind of where I've found a lot of success. So I like to buy high and sell higher, or sell low and cover lower, because that's just how I could trade. It helps me to identify trends and make a lot more. And yes, I do have less opportunities. Sometimes I don't trade every single day, but when I do have my opportunities, they're A+, and I have full conviction in my trades.
Yeah. No, I love that. I think it's so cool how so many people can find success in the market and have so many different strategies. There's sometimes that I'll talk to someone and I won't do anything that they do, and they'll be able to make tons of money in the market. And
that's okay.
Yeah, and they'll say, "Oh, I don't do anything that you do." I try to just follow very simple support, resistance. You're looking more for breaks of resistance and cracks, and that's perfect, because what you find is your comfort level. And I really think that's why so many people don't have success in the market. They try to follow one strategy, and once that strategy doesn't work for them, they just end up quitting. They say, "Oh, I just don't get it." You got to find something that you're comfortable with. If that's swing trading, if that is option trading, if that's shorting, if that's penny stocks, if that's OTCs, if that's earnings, whatever it may be. How many different strategies do you think that you went through before you found something that was successful for you?
I tried so many strategies. I tried supply and demand. I tried breakdowns and breakdowns. I tried RSI. I tried MACD. I tried SAR. I tried oversold, overextended. I tried order flow. I tried volume profile. I tried so many different strategies and indicators. And I think what I was trying to do too much is I was trying to copy my strategy directly off somebody else's strategy, but now I'm a firm believer that you will not have the same exact strategy as somebody else. It's impossible. You're gonna have at least one little thing different because everybody has their own strategy. Everyone has their own comfort levels. Everyone kind of has their own psychology and way that they break things down in your brain, and that's gonna be different than somebody else. So you really have to kind of back test through every single strategy you've done, figure out what the best success rate is for you, and then through that, take smaller components like, okay, I like to do this at this time, or at this time, I'm good at doing this. And then through that, that's how I kind of found my favorite strategy, which is VWAP and pre-market high, pre-market low retests.
So how long you been trading now, you've been saying?
4 years.
4 years?
4 years, a little less.
And then throughout those 4 years, you spoil yourself yet on anything? A little nice?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I ever bought with my trading profits was this chain.
Okay.
About a little less than 2 years ago. And then I built my own office. And I actually, for my 16th birthday, I bought myself an AMG, so.
That's nice.
I appreciate it.
Is that your go-to dream car? Is there something else that you want in the future?
It's not my dream car, but it was a really good first car. You know, it's a nice car as well.
It's a good car. My first car was a 2003 Hyundai Elantra.
Did you like it?
Yeah. I mean, it didn't bring in too many ladies back in the day in high school, but you know what? It was fun. And, you know, all I personally wanted was like a manual, you know, a little stick shift. Yeah. So it was fun. It was a good, you know, car to be able to start off with.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get like you, bro. I'm trying to get a Lambo, and
it's cool. It is fun, and I do enjoy it, and I love cars. But the thing is, as I said, I would rather put it to real estate.
Really?
I would just rather have it appreciate. You know, so when I had those nice cars, when I had the McLaren or the Ferrari or the Lamborghini, it was just more the fact that you're driving it, you feel like the man. You're driving it, you put on some music, you're just like, hey, this is awesome. Everyone's staring at you. You show up at a restaurant, you show up at a gym, everyone's talking to you, and it's great. You do get a lot of people come up to you, and you get to network, and that's the biggest thing, you know, networking through and going to these car shows and people coming up to you and saying, oh, what do you do? And you could be able to talk to them that way. But at the end of the day, you know, being able to take, let's say, if you have $300,000 or $250,000 in cash, and you could either A, buy a Lamborghini, or B, go out and put that money down towards real estate, the real estate is going to be much better.
Yeah.
You know, being able to do that just from what I've been able to do. I started off with my McLaren, sold my McLaren, had money, got my house that I live in now. Then I saved on up, got the Lamborghini, said to myself, I'm getting a little older. I love, again, the Lambo, but I'd rather, again, try to take advantage of the low interest rates, you know, when the pandemic was going on. Sold that, and then was able to get my Airbnb out in Utah. And I'll tell you right now, you know, the Utah Airbnb, I've had that for a few months now, or probably a half a year, up and running over on Airbnb. It's been able to generate over $60,000 so far.
Wow.
Lamborghini hasn't been able to make me $60,000. You know,
No.
so is it fun? Yes. Is it a cool factor? Absolutely. You know, do people, you know, come up to you and want to talk to you? Yes. But at the same time, I'd rather be able to bounce back and forth between my house out to the Midwest, be able to enjoy things along those lines. So that's just where I'm at. But hey, I'll be honest with you. If I get to a point where I got $15 million in the bank, would I probably get another supercar?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's kind of going through phases too, you know, like at the same time, 1000% real estate, obviously it's going to be a way better investment than the cars and stuff. But at the same time, like, you know, I'm kind of young. I kind of want to experience it first, and then kind of obviously. Oh, one thing I didn't mention is about college is my parents actually said that, and if I don't go to college and reach my goal, I do have to be invested into real estate and kind of have that cash flow coming in as well. But I think the Lamborghini or the supercar or whatever I do end up getting, it's also marketing material for me. That's the truth. You know, it's going to pay itself off through networking, people seeing it, growing on my pages and stuff like that.
No,
Do you think yours has paid it off?
In a way. I mean, so this is how I always think about it. One thing that always stands out to me is I always say, and I tell others, the average millionaire has 7 different incomes. 7 different ways that they make money. If that's through affiliate programs, if that's through YouTube, if that's through TikTok, if that's through business, if that's through trading, if that's through dividends, all different ways. What I always think about is, all right, I'm trading my stocks right now. I might have a great month, may make $10, $20, $30,000. That's awesome. But let's say I have a red month. If I have a red month and all of a sudden I take a little bit of a hit and I take a little bit of a loss. Well, now I got Airbnb profits coming this way. And I got $10,000 coming this way. Before I have a Lamborghini, I'm sitting there and I'm saying to myself, hey, I just lost $25,000 and now I got to go ahead and pay, $5,000 for an oil change. You know, so to me, I want to be able to get to that millionaire statistic where it is. You have 7 incomes. No, I have 8 incomes. I have 10 incomes. Because if you are struggling in one income, you got your other 6 to be able to maintain it. And that's the most beautiful thing. So my ultimate goal is to be able to have income 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the people that are billionaires, they usually have probably, I would say, 15 different incomes with maybe 3 or 4 of them striving as huge incomes already. I mean, biggest Elon Musk. He has X or Twitter. He has SpaceX. He has Starlink. He has Chat GPT or whatever that's called, like deep AI, and he had or OpenAI. Yeah, he has Tesla. He has everything. So the thing is, if one of those actually do fail, what does he do? Okay, you know, it doesn't affect him in any sort of way. So that's what you're trying to strive for. And I know that 99% of people right now that are listening to this, they're sitting back to themselves and saying, I got one income. I got my 9-to-5 job.
You can't, just so you guys know, I do not think you'll be able to make it in trading if you're relying strictly on trading for all of your income, because what's going to happen is you're going to stress so much about it that what's going to happen is your emotions are going to be too emotionally invested into your trades, and you're going to be like setting short-term goals when in trading. I think that's the worst thing you could do. I think you should not set short-term goals. I think what we should do is focus on the 5-year plan. Focus on the 10-year plan. Stop acting like, you know, this is the last week you're ever going to trade if you want to start trading for the next 5 years. Stop, dude. You don't have to make back everything you've lost in one day. And you don't have to make everything you want to make in one day either. So do not rely strictly on trading to live and to pay the bills, because that's going to put too much emotional stress on you, and that's going to confluence your trades and directly correlate to your trades.
No, I definitely understand that. That's something that's a little discouraging, I feel like, to some traders, where everyone wants to be a full-time stock trader. And I love that. You know, people want to become a full-time stock trader, but being a full-time stock trader, it takes some money. It takes some cash, because let's go ahead and try to break this down a little bit. Number one, you're going to have over $25,000 to be above the PDT rule. That's going to be the first step. Then number two, I'm going to say that you probably want to have 3 to 4 months in your bank account to be able to live. You know, you got to be able to have that money. So let's just say you average between all your bills and everything, let's just say $5,000, right? Bills, groceries, everything along those lines. So let's go, we have $15,000 in the bank account, $25,000 in your trading account. That's at the minimum. $15,000 to be able to live. And then, you know, you may just want to be able to have maybe 1 or 2 other things going on. So let's just throw out miscellaneous, you know, maybe $5,000, $6,000. We're talking, you know, almost $50,000 to be able to be a full-time stock trader. But I want you to realize that doesn't mean you can't make money in the stock market.
No.
Do you know how many people working 9 to 5 have a little side account where they have $5,000, $10,000? People don't realize that $200 a day comes out to $50,000 a year. 250 days in the stock market. So many people log on every single morning, make a quick little trade, make $200, go to your 9 to 5. Imagine at the end of the year, after 250 days of trading, you have $31,000 in your account by averaging $165 a day.
Yeah.
How great is that to just be able to say, hey, I make $70,000 on my 9 to 5, made $32,000 trading, but you have to realize kind of what you said before. You got to go with that long term. Those small gains will add up. There's nothing wrong with locking in $110 a day. Throughout a year, you're going to be a happy camper when you realize at the end of the year, you can pay off what you want. You can take the family on a vacation, whatever you want.
That's the biggest thing I think that people are so, they don't even look at it. Everyone's trying to get rich overnight, but what I'm about to tell you guys is going to blow your mind. If you have $10,000, $10,000 in your trading account, you're trading on a cash account, if you make 2% every day, the first day you're only going to make $200, right? Mm-hmm. By the end of the year, you'll have over $1.3 million from making 2% every day, guys. 2%. First day is going to be $200. Second day, maybe $201. Literally just 2% every day. I'm not saying you're going to be green every single day, but I'm just saying, stop trying to get rich overnight and realize this is a long-term game. This isn't a short-term game. I know we're trading, day trading and options, but you got to look at the long view rather than the short view. And I promise you guys, if you guys want to put yourself in a position to get lucky, you need to add up those base hits, and those base hits are going to put you in a position to get a home run.
Absolutely. Trying to think about it. You know, what do you think is the number or top 3 mistakes traders would make when starting off that you could say, hey, this is what I did that led to me losing to begin with? How, like, what would you say this would correct it? Like, don't do this because I'll save you guys money. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
First things first, stop copying other people's trades. You have to trade based off your own thoughts. I'm not saying you can't look at their trades and kind of see, okay, what is he seeing in this trade? But I'm just saying stop directly taking alerts because think about it. I can give you a fish and you can have a fish, one time. But if I teach you how to fish, then you can know how to get a lot of fish and eat forever rather than having one fish. Same thing with trading. I can give you alerts and you can copy them. You won't be successful in the long term because your emotions will be involved in it. But if you can get taught how to trade and learn how to trade, learn the actual skill on how to trade, then what's going to happen is you're going to be able to do it by yourself independently. So that's number one. Number two, stop taking gambles. Stop taking earning lottos. I think that's so dumb. I think so many traders get fooled online and they think, wow, this guy just made this much money overnight. I'm going to do this in earnings. Same thing with the online aspect. Stop believing everything you see online, 1,000%. Just because you see someone make $100,000 in a day, you guys don't understand how much work that takes. You guys see $100,000 in a day. What you guys don't see is probably years and years and years of backtesting, trial and error, sacrificing, sleepless nights, tears, and mental sacrifices. That's the truth. There's a lot of time and I think misconception in the market right now because of the online view and the average trader, because you're trying to get like him overnight when you don't realize how much time it's taken. And also, number three, stop trying to win every single day. Every single day that I took a red trade, I think I did something wrong. But sometimes, once I recognize that, okay, I took a red trade here, but I followed my setup. I literally journaled it, and this is my exact setup. This is the setup that works for me. Just because you're having a red day doesn't necessarily mean you did something wrong. Red days are a part of the game. It's all about making your red days smaller than your green days. As long as you're up big on the day, up small on the day, even or small red on the day, then it's a green day.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of great points that you bring up right there. I mean, number one, I'm just going to say, seeing everything that you see on TikTok or social media, it is tough. It's tough to see people making this much money so quickly. And then you say to yourself, wow, like I can do that. And you can do that. But you need to realize how much work people are putting in. If we're talking about, I want to be successful, one thing that I always tell my community is you have to realize it is almost like going to college if you want to be a stock trader. Freshman year, you know nothing. You can't go ahead and say, okay, I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a surgeon. I want to be a stock trader. All that I put in the same category and say, okay, freshman year. Freshman year, you are nowhere near walking into that courtroom. You're nowhere near actually performing a surgery. So why are you anywhere near going ahead and doing stock trades? You have to realize that these are very prestigious careers. You want to be a doctor, you go to school for 8 years. You want to be a lawyer, you go to school for 8 years. If you want to be a stock trader, you don't just open up a Robinhood account with $40 and say, why am I not rich? So you have to be willing to put in the work. But I also understand that you got to treat the market not as a gamble. You always have to put the odds in your favor. And that's like very, very tough sometimes when I get it. I get pretty fired up when I trade. I take my shirt off every now and then. We like to have a good time. I lose some articles of clothing, right? But at the same time, it's because I just love what I'm doing, and it's more of the passion that I have because I put in so much work, and when I see the results, I'm just like, that hard work was worth it.
And that's okay. And I think to your gambling point, the stock market is a gamble unless use calculated risk. That's your only edge in the market is calculated risk, because you can't go to the casino and say, okay, I'm gonna risk 1 to make 2 in this bet, or I'm gonna risk 1 to make 2 in this hand. You can't do that, and that's the truth. But in the stock market, you can take setups based off a statistic and say, okay, I'm gonna buy here with a stop here and then take profit here, 1 to 2, and the numbers are gonna add up. But in the casino, it's a straight gamble. You can't use that calculated risk. And I think it's the same thing in anything trading related, as long as you can kind of, through journaling, right? Journaling, by the way, guys, is probably the number one thing that helped me kind of find my strategy. And I think it's going to be the number one thing to help you guys find your strategy. Through journaling, I think what you need to truly do is go back at least the last 3 months of your trading, right? After you go back the last 3 months, mark down every single trade. And when I was doing this, I was doing it with pen and paper. Now there's crazy brokers and websites. Like I use TradeZella now. So go through, mark down every single one of those, and then see, okay, what time did I take this trade at? What time did I take this trade at? What time did I take this trade at? What's the setup on this trade? What's the setup on this trade? What type of contracts did I take on this trade? What's the expiration on this trade? What did I do on this trade? And then once you kind of have all of that marked down, you're gonna see, okay, I always win when I trade SPY 1 day out at 9:30. I always lose when I trade weeklies or 0 DTEs at 11 o'clock. Or I always lose when I take trades power hour. I always win when I take trades at open. I always win when I take trades at 10. I always lose when I take trades at open. And you kind of have to do that, and based off that, build a strategy based off of the statistics and cut out everything that you're bad at and only focus on what you're good at. And that's going to basically give you a way higher edge in the market, and over time it's going to allow you to adapt to market cycles and to always be upping your strategy and making sure that it's the best that it can possibly be.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. No, I love that a lot. You know, a lot of great points, and that's why I want to talk to you. You know, you have so many great points, and you have such a great drive, especially for your age. I think one of the most important things that has helped me is I video record everything I do. Since I'm live streaming, I basically have a video journal library where I can go back and I can be able to watch what I'm doing right and wrong. I think one of the best things for everyone to do is buy a webcam, download OBS. It's 100% free. And when you're trading, live stream or not live stream, record your monitor and watch yourself. You can watch it later on, and you'll sit there and say, what am I doing? Why did I take that trade? What's happening here? But when you're rewatching yourself later that night or the next day, you can remember the emotions you were feeling. You can remember what you were thinking, and then you can watch yourself perform that trade, either saying, hey, I did a great job there, or you could say, man, why did I pull the trigger? I always compare stock trading to being an athlete, and I remember back in high school, back in college, we would sit down and we would rewatch our games, and we would applaud what was good, and we would criticize what was bad. That's how you get better. So for me as a visual learner, I wanted to be able to watch myself trade, figure out what did I do right here? Okay, let's remember that. And what did I do bad here? Let's remember that. So many people want to remember the good they do in stock trading, but everyone wants to ignore the bad or throw it away. The good is what we already know what to do right. The bad is where we can actually improve. So I want to remember the bad, not only just remember the bad, focus on the bad so I can be able to turn that into the good, and I can keep, getting that kind of seesaw more heavy and heavy and heavy towards the strength side, and that's where I take care of a lot more of my weaknesses. So that's recording, I think, is one of the best ways, especially if you are a visual learner.
And if you think about it, recording your trades and journaling them back, do you ever go over your trades and watch back your trades?
Yeah, absolutely. So
exactly, that's
yeah.
journaling them. You're reviewing your trades, back testing it, and stuff like that. So it all kind of goes together back and end and end, but it's just about your preference. Like, that's a very good idea. If you don't want to kind of go over it and look at the statistics, you can just replay your trades and think, okay, for next time, what should I do? And for next time, if you're trading the same type of stocks, you can recognize through reviewing that, recording that, okay, when I see this pattern, now I know this is going to happen. Rather than when I see this pattern, I know this is going to happen. I've probably watched every single 5-minute candle on SPY for the last 2 years. And if I haven't watched it live, I've reviewed it. Mm-hmm. That's kind of, the level of commitment and knowing and trying to recognize things before they happen in the market that I've gotten to.
Absolutely. So just a little different here, but with you and your social media following and your presence here, you ever get, any sort of haters? You ever get people that, aren't as inspired by you?
Oh my gosh, dude. Let's read through some of my latest comments and my latest posts.
Okay, here we go. Latest comments and latest posts, people.
Yeah, some of my latest comments and my latest posts. Okay, I posted this 2 hours ago. Let's see. Now you're just showing off. Try being humble. Almost drove off my car off the interstate watching this cringe-ass video. Should have given more.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to write it like that.
Yeah.
All right? I apologize.
No, I'm just saying it's funny. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see. How are you such a loser? We get it. You have money. Now go back to school. Cringe of all cringes. I would think a grown woman would recognize you. Unfollowing.
Hey, I apologize for bringing this up.
No, this is my latest post. I don't even look at it, though. So, guys, about haters. You guys are thinking about haters as such a bad thing. You guys need to recognize that haters are probably the best thing that's ever going to happen to you, because haters, what happens is bad press is good press in every single aspect of life, and that's how I view it. Haters hate you because they ain't you. And what you need to recognize is you'll never in your life meet a hater that's doing better than you. Think about it. If someone's hating on you, that means you're lower than you and they're trying to get to the point that you're at. You'll never in your life meet a hater that's doing better than you, and I promise you that. You guys just need to recognize that. Okay, he can hate on me all he wants. I'm doing more than him. And you know why they're hating on you? Because they can't control you, so they want to control the way people view you. but they don't recognize that bad press is good press. All press is good press.
Mm-hmm. No, I definitely understand that. I mean, I always think about it as you're never going to make people happy.
Yeah.
Right? You're never going to make every single person happy. I might make 99 people happy, but that one post, that one comment that, someone says, "Oh, I don't like you," kind of sticks in your brain a little bit more, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But you just got to realize, like, when you're doing your thing, do what makes you happy. I might, do my hair one day, and people say, "Oh, I like it when it's this way. Oh, I like it when this way." It's like, hey, do what makes you happy. That's all it is, bud.
Stop caring what people think about you guys. I promise you guys. If I cared what people thought about me, I would have even have gone through a few months, to be honest. Not caring about what people thought about me was probably the number one thing that helped me grow on social media as well, because I was getting hated on, I was getting clowned on, and some points it did get to me. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I was just a kid, and before I knew all this stuff, there was a lot of fake people in my life that kind of came into my life, and I recognized it after a long time that, yeah, they're acting so nice in front of me, but behind my back, they're talking so much crap about me. And I really, really think that the number one thing you guys have to stop doing is caring what people think about you. Because think about it like this. When you're older, in a few years, or when you're really, really older, you're going to be looking back on it, and you're thinking to yourself, wow, I wish I didn't care. I wish I did it. So stop living with regret. And what you need to start doing is reaching your full potential, because the biggest thing that I fear is not reaching my full potential. It really is. That's the biggest fear I even look at in life, is regretting not doing everything I could. And even if I try and I don't achieve what I was looking to get out of it, at least I tried, and I won't be able to feel that feeling of regret.
Yeah, no, I love it. Hey, great mindset. Absolutely, buddy. Where can people find you? So where can people find you if they want to be able to watch you, follow you, listen to your alerts, whatever that may be?
My Twitter's at PB Investing, Instagram at PB Investing, and then I have a company called New Age Trading. Basically, it's a live trading community. We also do 2 weekly classes. We have tons of successful traders we've built from there. I have a whole team of full-time traders that work under us, and you can find my daily trade ideas. We have masterminds in there for free, wap.com/New Age Trading, or just go directly to my profile, click the link in my bio.
Let's go. Hey, well, thank you for flying all the way out from Michigan and being here with me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a great time. Where can people find you?
Tradecaster.com.
Tradecaster.com?
Yeah, people know that, though. A lot of over on my channel right here. Everyone, Tradecaster.com, 7-day pass. Get on over here. Let's live stream.
And before we end this thing off, I just wanted to say one more thing to you guys.
Of course.
I see so many people nowadays, and they're sleeping on their dreams. Stop sleeping on your dreams. What you need to do is take your dreams and make goals out of your dreams. And through your goals, make sure they're reasonable, and make short-term goals. And through those short-term goals, make a plan. And through that plan, you have to execute. And when you're executing that plan, what's the definition of execute? Take action. Start taking action now. Stop saying, oh, one day. Instead of saying one day, say, okay, today's the first day. I'm going to start now. Stop procrastinating. It's the biggest thing that's going to lead you to, honestly, not achieving much in life.
PB, get me fired up over here. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.